For more on the growing number of foreign investors on Wall Street, we're joined by Wahid Farish of the Islamic finance company Zayan Finance. He joins us live from New York. Mr. Farish, thanks for joining us. Just how much of America's financial and industrial centerpieces are for sale, and what does this tell us about the state of the U.S. economy?
Well, thank you for having me, David. It's my pleasure to be on your program. What it's really saying is that we're in a state where there is indeed a liquidity crunch, and there is a reliance on a global base of investors to participate in the U.S. economy in a manner that has been consistent with how they've invested historically. There hasn't been necessarily a change in approach. Many of the funds have historically been active and have been participants in U.S. investments. There has been an added layer of activity due to the liquidity crunch that's taking place in the U.S. market, and certainly there's been an added layer of media coverage.
How much of this is due to the American credit crunch? How much is due to the high price of oil, and how much is due to fears of recession?
Well, the prompting has been from the liquidity crunch. Certainly when we take the examples of firms such as Citigroup and Merrill Lynch and some of the other institutions that have reached out to such sovereign funds, it's clear that the current events have been a major impetus. As far as the source, certainly some of these sovereign funds are in a good position to invest, owing partly to the sustained pricing of oil. But when we look at the history of some of these institutions, such as the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, this is an institution that has had accumulated a substantial size fund over a longer history, and it has not been directly related to more recent oil movements.
Are high levels of foreign investment a threat, as so many Americans fear it to be, to American sovereignty, or does it in fact just unify the global economy all the more?
Well, it's certainly not a threat. I think the positive news from we've seen over the past year has been that there's a mutual warming or confidence building that's taken place between the host countries as well as the sovereign funds. On our side, we've seen that compared to events over a year ago with Dubai ports and other investments, there is an overall sense of comfort with foreign investments coming into the U.S. Globally, there is the level of investment that's coming in from anywhere, China to Singapore to parts of the Gulf region, is a clear example that there is consistent confidence in the U.S. economy. And that's important. The global markets realize the history and the value of investing in the U.S., and that's really what we're seeing here.
Wahid Farish, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's my pleasure to be here tonight.